Hey guys here. So, our thoughts on the power-ups for Keyshawn Johnson and friends have kind of come true, sadly, right? When we go ahead and buy them. There's a solo to do this for free. I'll buy it. I'll pay the overpriced price. But I do want to kind of show you guys what's going on. These things do not go up past their highest overall card, which is kind of sad. I don't know why they just didn't increase their stat level a few. Like, right? This guy gets up to 89 speed. So he's useless, right? Like, even on a theme team, useless. There has to be some greater design here, right? Though, like, we can't just believe that put these things in the game and there's just gonna be nothing else with them. Maybe there is, but like, they gotta get an upgrade soon. Maybe there's. I don't think if they do a Campus Heroes 2, they're not just gonna include the same exact guys, are they? I mean, that's a possibility. But like the ones that got the cards were like okay when they were in the game, right? They weren't like, meta breakers then. Now it's, months later from Campus Heroes 1. Even like Watkins, who's 6'5", would be a great, his next card should be great. But right now it's a little disappointing, right? For the amount of names that these guys had, like how big they were, how great they were when they played, to like get like new releases but not be up there, not have the hype of a high overall card, it's kind of disappointing, right? So I'm very confused. A lot of people are, crapping on EA as they should, right? Because EA kind of did a little weird thing. And RG did say today on GMM that, he said, this is, basically in so few words, this is awful. We know, we understand. But maybe this is, for more programs on the road, like Team of the Week, playoff. Like, why don't they just do those things first, right? Like, unless a lot of these guys get cards going forward. Which, like, if they do get cards and they come through sets, those sets would be, a lot of them giving out power-ups anyways. So, yeah. Huh? What? But I can go through the solos. I gotta roll some of the training for some of the cards. We'll see the training roll right now. Obviously, wait till tomorrow really to do a lot of this. Although a lot of these solos today and a lot of the things where they at power-ups right here. Pup challenge 1. Maintain a lead through the final quarter, win a game. You're up by 10. So it's a win the game solo. Okay? And your milestones, you get a pup fantasy pack for getting 15 stars on these solos. So you gotta complete them fully. But I do believe you get another random one. And I think there's a couple random ones in there that you get. So one choice out of 6 randoms. So there you go. I would not buy these things like myself right away. You know what I mean? Because this roll right here, and I want to talk about something else with franchise here in a second, but this roll right here allows you to kind of like get power-ups anyways. And I would imagine these new power-ups are in this roll. If somebody can tweet me about the training variety pack, if the power-ups are in there, yeah, definitely let me know if you pull a new one out of this. Because if they don't have it in here, it's kind of weird, but I do imagine this will be in the game. You know what else is in the game? Rock Bottom Coins. Rock Bottom Coins is the #1 place to get your Madden 21 coins. If you make coins for my videos, sell them to Rock Bottom. If you're buying, use my code GUTBOX for 15% off. So, let's keep going with the training variety pack while we got it. If you got it, you shoot it. 30,000 coins. Hey, we'll pull a few more times before I want to talk about franchise. I think I'll do a little video of this in a bit because obviously it hasn't gone live yet. Let me take a look at EA's website if they've done their patch notes yet. But I think I'm going to do a special video. They said there's the patch coming out for franchise. So I'm excited to see what they have for the next patch. I don't see anything there. Madden's on EA Play now. I guess like the question is, how will Madden change now that we got a bunch of noobs on it playing it? Madden Ultimate Team, the thing is, like, y'all have a bunch of set elos, right? Like, with the people playing on EA Play getting it free, if you've been playing and you've been getting your elo high, there's always a chance that you match up with somebody really bad because, EA matchmaking's piss poor. There's always that chance, sure. But generally, you're not going to run against them unless it's Open Weekend League this week, which I don't know. It could be Open Weekend League again. And then you could run into a bunch of them. But I don't know how many people are going to be entering Weekend League the first, week in the game. Maybe there'll be some crazy dudes, but When I went over to FIFA, I did not enter Weekend League right away because I knew I was going to get my doors blown off. So, it's not like COD used to be, right? COD isn't like COD used to be with all the matchup ratings and elos and, skill-based systems that they have now. So, yeah, it's on EA Play. Play it. I think we're getting FIFA and NHL to, somebody said to Xbox, whatever that one is, that Game Pass. So, was it FIFA? No, it was 2K. Sorry, 2K and NHL. I think I saw a link for that. I don't know if that's true, if that's coming out, or when that's coming out, but that'd be kind of exciting because I'm excited to play those games. I didn't buy them. Wait, no, I did buy 2K. I didn't buy NHL this year, though, so it'd be good to get a little bit of that ice skating in. But I do want to talk about the franchise update. It is up right now. I think I'm going to just do it in this video, too. So, franchise fans, gridiron notes, league history, revisit the history of franchise through a new running log of key award winners, conference and Super Bowl champions. Alright, so league history is going to be in the game, right? For existing franchises, we'll only have data for current season and beyond. If you're in year 4, your franchise previous years will not have data. For new franchise, man, if this update. I mean, this is the definition of this thing that should have never left. Okay. Alright, well, at least they added it now, right? Look on the bright side of it. At least it's there now, right, boys? Trade logic and player value improvements. Man, I've seen so many, screenshots of, oh, man, I can't believe they gave me this for that. How many times we've seen, real-life trades and, oh, Madden doesn't have it, right? So, I mean, that's a little different, but there's some really crazy things you can do with players. I know the big way around it is just moving everybody to punter and then trading for those punters and then trading them positions back. But let's see this. In many cases, we took top reported community issues with trade value as a direct inspiration to design and implement ways to address these concerns in a way that gives tangible changes for Madden NFL 21 and serves a foundational piece of our tuning in the future. We can and will be better adapting our core systems to better reflect a more realistic player movement experience in the future. When it comes to building your roster, our new tuning is also shift towards reciprocation. Damn it. I can't even fucking say it. Reciprocation? There it is. Reciprocation. Why did it look like something else? It's just reciprocation. Maybe it's because of they got me fucked up in the morning, man, with the quotes. Why would you air quote that? Approach for highly valued players, close to what we've been seeing on changing perceptions of realistic trades over the years with major names changing teams more frequently. At its core, this means that for users trading for a star, it will cost a package either high value players, picks or both, and the other way, trading away a player. The price to obtain a star high overall player can, and in most cases will be steeply rooted against more authentic trade packages. We also wanted to provide more direct power to users who are willing to move high value pieces from their own roster to get more in return that wasn't previously possible. Our goals have things still make sense in the logic, even if trade is offered and accepted as inherently not in the best interest of the team to make. We'll make it a cost prohibitive to do at times, a difficult balance without directly blocking users for acquiring who they want. Here's an overview on some of the most impactful areas found and addressed in detail. I mean, overall, I like the idea, right? I think teams have been really dumb lately trading for high overall card for studs, right? Way overpaying for them, but that's the cost of business nowadays, I guess. If you want to acquire a star, you got to really shell out draft picks because I feel like when you look at baseball and football, right? You look at the Nolan Arenado trade. It's trading a superstar and giving away $50 million to the acquiring team. And then the acquired team that almost sends nothing back to them. But, I mean, there's no, you don't keep the signing bonus on your caps at MLB, so it's a little different that way. MLB, the entire contract transfer, so, but, I don't know. It's all about replacement value in my mind. I feel like sometimes the NFL hasn't really figured that out yet, but maybe they have, and they've run the numbers and feel like the replacement value of this guy over the rest is worth all those draft picks. Fixed issue where high overall dev players inexplicably did not have value due to player archetype differences. A situation where a team valued a receiving back but had a power back. The power back was previously created in value for no reason otherwise. Value is no more consistent across. Okay, good, yeah. Archetype differences, yeah, that makes sense. Good. Offensive lineman value. Elite offensive lineman will now be valued more authentic costs required like Colts guard Quentin Nelson. Yeah, I mean. The thing is technically, I don't know if that's a bug in Madden because offensive linemen don't really matter in Madden that much. Obviously, if you have like 60 overalls out there, you're gonna have a bad time. But like at a certain level, you're fine. You don't really need the elite offensive lineman in this game because they'll get beat like a drum, unlike IRL. Added logic to CPU teams to be able to recognize context around when a player is actually an upgrade when acquiring a player that's not a start on the current team but would be for the new team. Okay? Allow CPU teams to better recognize when lower quality caliber player is circumstantially starting rather than 73 overall getting the same base value as CB1 as player like Stephen Gilmore would. Really? Really? This wasn't a thing. Wow. Okay. So they were valuing somebody being a starter on another oh my god, that's awful. Addressed issues where players would be evaluated at the incorrect depth position on the acquiring team. This caused inconsistency in player values for CPU acquiring team. Why are you like, okay, why are you taking into account depth chart position on the acquiring team? It's because inconsistent player values for CPU teams acquiring players. Like, I get it, like, wait, on the acquiring team. Like, I get it that it would upgrade their team, right? If you got, like, 3 great corners, you're not going to want to acquire another corner. You're not going to give a lot of stuff. I get that. Sorry, I guess I thought about it from the other way. But, yeah. Evaluate the incorrect depth chart position. That's fine. I mean, that has to be in the logic, though. Okay, well, they fixed it up. They tuned it up. That's fine. Address trading for some position value issues. When a user CPU team trades a starter for another player at the same position who would start, we were not valuing the player as a starter for the new team, which caused the players valued less than they should be. And pretty simple bug. They fixed it. Additional updates were made to base values at every position at depth chart slot. Schemes address issues violated. Authenticity improvements. Allow both teams to access the premium value associated to trades. Okay. Multiple instances of it with lower overall players will be overvalued due to team need at position. I've definitely seen that. I haven't like messed with a trade system much lately, but like back, is it still a thing? You could trade like a 72 overall cornerback. That's probably changed. That's probably been fixed for years. Added a check to evaluate any offensive lineman with superstar dev trait to the equivalent of superstar X factor. Any O lineman with dev trait at the equivalent of superstar X factor value. Okay, well they're properly valuing it, I guess. Dev trait a full factor into a player's valuation calculator rather than a modifier for boost. Like the thing is, like I hate that they show dev traits, right? I don't even think dev traits should be a thing in this game. Like, well, they should be a thing to an extent, but like the fact that you know somebody's gonna develop into a superstar kind of ruins the whole developing somebody into a superstar thing, right? I think that like they're like, oh, now your guy's dev trait's hidden, but like, yeah, I know he's gonna be a superstar because it's gonna be hidden, right? Like, no, it's like for those who don't know, like when you draft a player, if they have a hidden dev trait, you gotta figure it out after a while. But like people with trash dev traits you don't need to figure it out. I think dev traits literally shouldn't even be showed. That shit should be behind the scenes. I think that's stupid. I hate franchise modes. I play a lot of out-of-the-park baseball now because all the other franchise modes and all the other sports games that I've played, I haven't played a whole lot of 2K's franchise outside of their single player. They're my player. But like lately, like FIFA's awful, and like Madden, I didn't like NHL's. And what's the other one? I mean, I guess 2K is the only other one. Yeah, and MLB. MLB's franchise is also awful. So I play out of the park, and like they don't show you dev traits, right? That's just behind the scene. That should be some random walk year to year on how a player played and how he progressed in the offseason. Yeah, dev traits. This is one of the dumbest things you can include in a game, because like, oh, now I know who to focus on, rather than like being surprised and pleasantly surprised by somebody's breakout year. Based on whether the team runs a 4-3 or 3-4, certain defensive position will be valued differently. Okay, wow. I can't believe that wasn't a thing beforehand. This logic also impacts what positions teams need to look to trim roster cuts on in preseason. Okay, well that makes sense. I don't think I need any explanation of that. Draft pick values. Completely realign the base value of draft picks to work with new player value changes closely in line with NFL benchmark trade values. Previously, the second and third draft pick in an offer would have slightly decremented. Dog, where the fuck they find the thesaurus at? Slightly lesser values. Like, why the hell you have to use decremented? Dude, who's paying you by the fucking word length? We didn't feel this was authentic, so we removed it. Good idea. That's awful. Impacts both pick-for-pick trades as well as pick-for-players, and a mixture of the two. Team philosophy, value differences. Team will have more nuanced perspectives of valuing players and draft picks from their own and opponents. This creates situational concept in franchise. We see all the time in the NFL. Just because the team is more over trading a draft pick and a championship contention winner doesn't mean that the team should or does not value draft picks at all as a core philosophy. Yeah, like, the Steelers should, like, almost never trade, right? Unless it's for, like, you know, that superstar free safety. But other than that, like, they hate trading draft picks, right? That was the first time they didn't have a first round draft pick. Was it since, like, the early 80s? Yeah, they just, that's just not in their blood. Player value modifiers. Retuned. Why does retuned look weird? Maybe that should be a dash here? Or is that actually, is retuned a word? Retuned. Re-dash-tune. I don't know, man. My grasp of the English language is not very strong. Value increase modifiers for players in the first year of the contracts and players who are rookies. Okay, right? It makes a ton of sense. I mean, first year of the contracts, I wouldn't think so because they're market value. But rookie contracts are huge value. Added logic, no longer apply bonuses first year contract value to players who are only signed to 1 year contracts. Previously, all players on 1 year contracts were receiving value bonuses. That was only intended for players in long-term contracts. Why would there be a value bonus on someone on a long-term contract? Yeah, shouldn't the 1 year contract guys be valued, I guess, less? Because they're going to be gone soon. I don't know. Like, it depends on the long-term contract, though, right? If they're overpaid. I don't know. Average value tuning. Every player position received a new customized age value curve that keeps player value authentically updated as I can't. Dude, I'm sorry. It's early. I'm just into my first cup of coffee. The more age impacts the value of the market. That makes a ton of sense. Yeah, good idea. Yeah, definitely. Old people in the NFL, yeah, their bones are brittle, right? They don't really get valued very highly, which makes sense. This is where we get subjective water cool trade talks. Like, you see what that team just offered for a player? Seemed like a steal. What would you give up? Probably give him a second round. Whoa, a second rounder for that guy? How easy? He'd easily get his first round pick. He's so good. Yeah, but they could retire in a year. He's with a first round pick to his team easily, but for anyone getting them, they're not going to get them for very long. Good example. I like these changes. I think they're smart changes. It's weird that these things have gone unchanged for years. Added new premium value modifier to raise quarterback value compared to same skill positions. Allow quarterbacks to receive similar compensation in real life. Like, okay, let's go through the examples. 86 overall quarterbacks, franchise level talent. We're going to make sure that trading away a player that level is recognized as being more valuable and a rare commodity than possibly a 90 to 93 at other positions. Yeah, 100%. As we've seen this year, right? Matthew Stafford for Goff and like a bunch of first rounders or whatever. Like, easily. Right, the most important position in football is quarterback. So getting somebody at that level allows you to do well in the playoffs and forward, right? Like, we haven't really had bad quarterbacks win the playoffs in like 20 years, right? Like, when you're like, oh, Joe Flacco was bad. Yeah, but in the playoffs, he turned it to another level, right? He turned it like prime Manning in the playoffs. So, like, he can, like, you really need top-tier quarterback play to move on in today's NFL, really. And, you know, it makes sense. I think like an 86 overall can perform well in the playoffs. And it does make sense that that's something that is valued highly. And like a 90-93 at quarterback is like, you know, worth more than its weight in gold easily, right? How much would a 200 and I don't know how much a quarterback's 215 pound, how much in gold would that be valued at? 215 pounds in gold. How much? All positions have a high average value percentage for players in their early 20s, but just like real life quarterbacks are generally more valuable. Yep. Combined with base tuning, young high overall starting quarterbacks exceptionally valuable. So like in this game, Watson's gonna be impossible to trade for, huh? Makes sense. Sean Grady. Let's see if can I let you guys hear this or not? Let's see what Sean Grady has to say about this. Give me a second to make sure the audio works. Advanced audio properties. Close. All right. What does he got to say, Sean?
Fans, Sean Grady here, executive producer for Madden NFL. In my first video speaking with you, we recognize your feedback asking for more from your favorite mode. Since then, we've committed several title updates to the game, and tomorrow we'll deliver our third and final promised franchise update to Madden NFL 21. With this final title update, we will have delivered several highly requested franchise features to Madden NFL. Those improvements include trade logic, league history, X Factor customization, career stats on player cards.
Does anybody else hate how he seems like a nice guy? I want him to be evil!
Playoff brackets, draft logic tuning, commissioner tools include.
Oh, I get it. Right off screen, he's drowning a puppy. All right, it's good. We're back to being okay. Bashing
play
EA.
call house rules.
Hang on, let me rewind
Those
that.
improvements include trade logic, league history, X Factor customization, career stats on player cards, playoff brackets, draft logic tuning, commissioner tools including play call house rules, and much more. Check out the Gridiron notes for the full details on the latest title update. And while you're there, check out the Gridiron notes from the previous franchise updates in case you missed those. Now, this process takes time and careful planning, but we're just getting started. Franchise mode will continue to be a priority in Madden NFL 22 and beyond, including in our live service plan, as we've shown in Madden NFL 21, where really the launch is just the beginning. In Madden 22, work is well underway. We're collecting input from a number of resources to ensure we deliver a franchise experience that our fans want. This includes feedback from you, the community, of course our game changers, and the many passionate franchise fans that work on the development team. The franchise community continues to be incredibly important to us. On behalf of the entire Madden NFL team, we can't wait to share with you what we're working on for Madden NFL 22, so please stay tuned.
Yeah, I mean, like, he didn't really say a whole lot that we didn't know. Like, it's you know, we're like, hey, we promise to be good. But I will say, I mean, a lot of this stuff are a lot of the major problems with franchise mode. And maybe I should do a video about what more I want in franchise mode along with gameplay and stuff. But, like, you know, trade. The trade system's been broke for a while, right? Trade logic. That's cool. League history. I mean, they're basic stuff, but needed improvements. So, even though it doesn't feel near enough to what it used to be, I mean, the big game launch at 22, hopefully we'll see the most improvements and the most, like, in-depth changes and customization to franchise mode, where we get, like, back those old favorites, you know, that we've all missed. I know everybody's citing the Tony Bruno show, which I thought was a big nothing burger. But, like, we'll see, I guess, right? We'll see what the future holds for franchise. At least it's a step in the right direction. Shout out to the community. Shout out to EA for listening to the community on the franchise mode and making the changes. But you're not quite there. You're not even, you know, a quarter of the way up the mountain for where franchise should be in this legendary game mode. Because how many of us spent how many hours of our youth on it? It was the thing that got me into franchise modes, and I'm still wasting plenty of hours on them in other games, franchise, and whatnot. Alright, that's it for the video. Thanks for watching. Call to action. See you tomorrow.